Everybody, David here, Distilling Adventures. Hope you're all doing well. It's been a while since I've been out camping. It's gonna feel good tonight. I'm just here going to a little local primitive campsite that I reserved for the night. And yeah, beautiful walk here through the woods. It's probably about a quarter of a mile or so to the campsite. Yeah, once I get there, I'll bring you back on. But it's good to be back in the groove here a little bit. A little rusty, so it'd be good to be hanging. All right, so I made it here to the campsite. There are two trees that may just work for hanging a hammock. I haven't used this campsite before. I believe this is a new site that they kind of cleared and made. The city did just this year. I think it was in the spring when they did that. So I'm going to kind of get settled here. Like I said, there are really just a couple of trees over here. I'll show you where I'm planning on setting up camp. The trees are a good probably 18 feet apart. So we'll see if we can get to hanging. This is my first time using these one wind straps with the buckles. I think it's going to be a lot easier to adjust and fine tune things on my hang with this system. Let's see here. And we'll see what the length is like here from tree to tree. I think we're going to be just fine. All right. Like I said, it's my first time using these buckle straps. So nice little change here. See how that goes. And man, these are super straightforward and easy to adjust. And once you cinch them up where you want them, they don't go anywhere. But I think I'm gonna leave a little bit more length this time just to see how it does going from tree to tree. Perfect. I think we'll see right there how that is. Well, let's see how we did here. I think we just about got it perfect. Ridge line seems nice. I think there's just the right amount of give in the ridge line. So I think we have a winner. I am also going to go ahead and set up the tarp because not really any chance of rain that I know of. But for dew in the morning, it's been a lot of dew here lately, and I think that'll keep the dew off of me. Yeah, so I'll get that set up, get the table and stuff set up, and show you what we have for dinner. So I'm all set up. Got the, this is the hanging high hammock with the integrated bug net, which I think I'm going to need. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go get my thermocell and put it out because you know, the bugs are eating me up pretty good right here as I'm setting things up. So I'm going to get the thermocell out, and I'll be using the bug net tonight. Cool thing about this hammock is the bug net unzips up to about 2 inches, and then you can just tuck it in this little stuff sack when you don't need it. But yeah, I'm going to need it tonight. So I'm going to get the Thermacell. I'll bring you right back. All right, got the Thermacell. Time to get it on. All right, I hear it doing its thing. I have not used this yet, but let's hope it works. Especially under here, I think maybe that'll help trap whatever that is that keeps them away, the DEET or whatever that's in there, and keep the bugs away. Because I'm going to make some dinner. Getting kind of hungry. Welcome back. I didn't bore you with all the prep work, but I went ahead and cut up some Queen City hot smoked sausages. I think I've had those in a video in the past. Those are all heated up and ready to go. And I have some spicy ramen. Focus. I heated up some water, boiled that up, and I added that to it. And I'm going to add the smoked sausages to it here once this is just about ready. And I think it is just about ready. So I'm hungry. I love these smoked sausages. So I'll add some to the bowl. Probably just eat some along with it. Might be the easiest thing. Usually when something says it's spicy, it's not really that spicy. These are hot smoked sausages, but they're not really spicy. Yeah, a little spice to them. And this, the seasoning packet that I added to it actually had some nice red color to it. So it looks promising. It might be a little spicy. That could be good. Between that and the heat from the sausages, yeah, it should be good. Time to eat. I am hungry. I don't think I'll eat all of this, but sure would have been easier with a fork. But anyway, let's see if it's at least spicy. That'd be a plus. No, not spicy. Tastes okay though. Got a good flavor. Steaming in the sunlight. Anyway, so it's been a minute. Just got super busy. Just busy, and when I had a chance maybe to do a little camping and things, I was just kind of tired and wasn't feeling it, so I didn't push it. But I'm doing it now, and it feels good to be back out here. So we haven't had much rain lately, and there's a nice creek right here by this campsite, but it is bone dry. Not a drop of water in there. But this could be nice after a good rain, hearing that water flow. Because just on the other side of the creek and not too far through the woods, there are some apartments. So, you know, you hear the usual noise over there, people talking, car doors slamming. It's a lower income apartment complex. And when I was younger and growing up, I grew up right here in this area. It was, well, the police definitely were there quite a bit. So it was an area that had a lot of issues. I think they've made some changes lately, and it's not quite so bad. So I'm hoping, you know, there's no trouble coming through the woods at some point tonight. Should be okay, but it is in the back of my mind. The sort of trail nature preserve thing where I'm camping tonight was not a thing when I was a kid. I played back here in the woods, but there were no, I didn't know there was an official trail. And this campsite that they sort of cleared out an area, put this little primitive campsite in. But none of this was a thing when I was a kid growing up. So it is really nice to see that people are using it. I mean, there are folks out with their kids and their dog and utilizing this area. So that's really good to see. They're doing some really good things, making some positive changes. I don't think you technically have to reserve this campsite to use it. They definitely prefer you to. And that way, if someone else did reserve it, when you go to reserve it for a certain date, if there's someone else already booked there, you're going to know, and not going to be any conflict. You're not going to come along when somebody else is planning on using it. So I did book it online and got my confirmation. And I was speaking to a lady there with the Parks and Rec department, and she was saying that really they just kind of like to know if there's an emergency in the area, then they know there's somebody there. But I've reserved other campsites in my town, and it never had any issues. It's not like they come and check on you, make sure you're, following rules while you're here. So they leave you alone, but they just kind of, I guess, want to know you're here if there is, like I said, an emergency or something. So they know I'm here. Nobody else is scheduled to be here as far as I can tell. So if nobody comes along, hopefully it'll be a peaceful evening. Oh, these sausages are so good. They're definitely the star of the show. My wife dropped me off at the trailhead this evening, and I just hiked here into the site. I think tomorrow, though, when I'm finished, I'm just gonna hike all the way home. It'll be a nice nice walk with the backpack on, because with all my gear, it's a pretty heavy pack. So I might just do that tomorrow for a little extra exercise. Well, I guess those of you that are not new to my channel and maybe saw last week's video, I had the best time. If you haven't watched it, it's probably a spoiler, so spoiler alert. But I got to get together with a little visitor, and we hung out for, I don't know, a few hours, I think. But Tony, Random Adventures 2.0, was just an hour or so north of me, moving his son here to Ohio. And well, since he was so close, he had to come down. So he drove down here to my hometown, and we just sat and visited for a while. And man, Tony's top-notch guy. Super great guy. He's the real deal. That was a great time. So actually, as I'm shooting this video that I'm going to put out, well, that you're watching now, in real time, it was yesterday that Tony and I hung out. So yeah, Tony, thanks for coming and hanging with me, brother. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to do it again. So my parents still live in the house where I grew up, which the street that this trail heads off of, that's their street. So I'm probably between 1 and 2/10 of a mile south of their house, in the woods behind their house. So I'm kind of camping in my old backyard. Like I said, I played in these woods as a kid. It runs north-south this way, north, and then south is that way. But I was a little bit more north in those woods where I played most of the time, and built tree houses and things. And yeah, I found some old doors that were dumped in the woods as a kid, and buddy Danny and I used those doors to make a treehouse. So good memories back here. You don't see many tree houses anymore. And I'm out in the woods a lot. I mean, I'm out just out in nature a lot and hiking in woods and things. When I'm hiking along, I never see, I don't know the last time I saw a legit like tree house built by a kid. I don't even hear kids talk about it anymore. But if I do stumble across a tree house, that'd be a fun place to do some stealth dispersed camping. That would be fun. Weather-wise, today's one of those crazy days. It's beautiful. The humidity is fairly low, no complaints there. And today it got up to probably around 85. I really didn't look, but it probably got up to around 85. And with my job, I'm working outside. But with the humidity low and everything, it really didn't feel like that. It didn't feel bad at all. But tonight, I think it's going to get down to like 53. So it's going to be quite a swing in temperature, quite a drop. So I did bring my under quilt and my top quilt. So if it gets a little chilly, I'm prepared. But I do love waking up in a hammock on a cool, crisp morning, making breakfast and making coffee. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow morning doing that. There, give it a little change of scenery. Gotta mix it up a little bit. I did not think I'd eat all this. I guess I was hungrier than I thought. So I think I'm gonna eat it all. So I will be putting out some videos of a trip my wife and 2 daughters and I took. I guess it's 2 weeks ago today that we've been back. And I shot some footage while we were there. We went out west. Went to Yellowstone National Park and the Grand Tetons. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at myself. So looks like I'm looking off to the side. So I apologize. Got to get back in the groove. So anyway, I did shoot some footage while we were there. And I'll put together a video of that. Of course, I won't be camping. We did do a little hiking in the Tetons up to a waterfall. But won't be doing any camping in that video, just to let you know in advance. I would have loved to have hammock camped in Yellowstone. There are so many places when we were driving, because you're driving long distances there. We stayed in West, and I don't want to tell too much now, but we stayed in West Yellowstone the entire time. I think ideally when you're going to a place like Yellowstone, you want to stay. There's definitely somebody over in the woods right across the creek. You want to stay for a couple days in one part of the park. Excuse me. Do your thing. Drive to another part of the park. Stay there for a night or two. But we stayed in West Yellowstone the entire time. So we had quite a bit of driving, especially depending on the day where we were going. But we got to see everything, which is great. But while we were driving these long distances to get to the things we wanted to see, oh, these bugs are crazy. I can hear this thing go on and kind of smell it, but it just doesn't. I'm going to check this. I don't think it's doing its thing. I'll be right back. Okay. First day with the thermocell. I twisted it to start, but I didn't hold it there long enough. So it was activating the gas canister, but it wasn't on and heating up the disc to keep little bugs away. So yeah, it should work now. Especially, like I said, being here under the tarp. Hopefully all that repellent will kind of stay under here nicely and keep the bugs away, because the bugs are really bad today. But anyway, so we're driving these long distances through Yellowstone, and I'm just aching to get out of my car and explore so many of the areas as we're driving by. The river and then some of the creeks, and just looking up into the mountains and the woods, thinking I would just love to be out there with my backpack hiking. And then when I get tired, set up my hammock. But it was, no, don't get me wrong, it was a great family vacation, and I would not have taken time away from family to go camping in the woods, although I would have liked to. So bring this over a little closer. Looks like a travel mug, but it's my thermocell. I would like to go back with a buddy sometime and do some hiking and camping. And I know there's, they got grizzlies and they got bison and stuff. So you have to be very aware and careful. But man, I would love to do that. So maybe one day I'll make it back out there and bring my hammock. Okay, so I went ahead and attached the underquilt. I had to get it out the way I packed my pack to get to I used the Fire Maple, I think it's a Saturn stove, and my skillet, and that was way at the bottom, under the underquilt and top quilt. So I put the top quilt back in my backpack, but had the underquilt sitting here beside me on the hammock, and it just kept falling and getting in the way. So I went ahead and just connected it because I'll want it tonight. And finished up my dinner. It was good to the last bite, last drop there. Drank all the juice and everything. Now I'm finishing my hot sausage. So it's a good meal. Honestly, since I'm eating junk tonight for dinner, I got a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie. One of my favorite guilty pleasures. Haven't had one in a long time. So I'm gonna have one of those tonight. If you're gonna fall hard. That's what I say. Do it right. Brought out my lantern. It's telling me still now more light required, but this is it. So there is definitely somebody, I think two somebodies right on the other side of the creek at the tree line there. I saw them, walking back and forth the same like 8 or 10 foot section, and now I kind of hear them slowly kind of walking toward the creek. So I'm just gonna keep my eyes out, stay alert. But yeah, I think it's about time for, well, I'll just show you. Hang on a minute. All right. Nope, dropping pieces. So good. Well, I have a visitor. Probably can't tell very well through the woods, but right there is a deer. See if he comes over and says hi. He's a big one. Oh, there's a couple of them. All right. Well, come on over, little fellers. Don't be shy. I don't bite. All right. Oh, now the deer are over there. Hold on. Let me show you. Hold All right, so pack a pipe. Have a little distilled beverage. Oh, I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Sure would be nice if they're kind of hanging out not too far. I'll get this packed up. Maybe I won't light it right away. That way they might come over. At least a little closer. A little more tobacco in there. Doing it this way, I'm making a mess, but anyway, pack that down in there. All right, there we go. I like to sometimes give it a little twist, and then press it down with the pad of my thumb. Sprinkle a little bit on top, just a little kindling. All right. Got a good draw. Like I said, I'll wait a minute before I light her up. She's ready to go. Maybe they'll come over. Who knows? Can't tell if I'm looking at the deer or a downed branch. Could just be a branch that fell down. Yeah, I think the deer is gone. It's just a branch. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, they've moved on. Let's get her fired up, shall we? Yeah, they've moved on. All right. Anybody else out there smoke a pipe? Smoke pipes and cigars occasionally. Pipes more so than cigars. Been smoking a pipe for about maybe 15 years, give or take. Could be 14 or 15 years. I don't smoke it every day. But here the past month or so, I've been smoking a pipe a lot more. By a lot more, I mean probably a couple times a week at the most, once or twice a week. Just been in the mood, you know. Then I'll go long stretches without even thinking about smoking a pipe. But I really enjoy it. Fun way to slow down. You know, you pick the pipe you want to smoke, you find the tobacco you want to smoke, you pack your pipe, go through the ritual of lighting it and keeping it lit and enjoying a little whiskey with it sometimes. So it's just good times for me right there. And outside in the woods, in nature, doing that in nature, come on, doesn't get any better. I can see the light inside the thermocell. See that? It's working. And it's been doing a fine job. Because all those little mosquitoes and gnats and things that were flying around my face have been gone. So yeah, I'm very thankful that that thing works. Well, I got it lit, but I'm going to set her down for a minute. So I'm going to pour myself some whiskey. And it's a cool little bourbon barrel whiskey glass. It's got a spot to put a cigar if you want a cigar rest. Had my name on the top, but throwing it in my backpack so much the letters came off. I have a really good friend who 3D prints these, and he made this for me, and I love it. But that my name came off, but it still has a nice cigar rest on it. But smoking a pipe tonight, and inside my Glencairn whiskey glass. So yeah, what are we gonna put in this whiskey glass? Well, whiskey, of course. I have Barton 1792. If you're interested, it's their full proof, which is 125 proof. I brought right about 2 ounces of that tonight. I'll probably pour about half. Sip on that with my pipe, and probably have the rest of it here in a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I know pipes in whiskey and such is probably not your thing for most of you watching, but this is one of my favorite just sort of go-to whiskeys. Barton 1792 foolproof. Really good, really nice. So cheers. Yep, so good. Never disappoints. All right. If you have any questions or comments about my whiskey or about whiskey in general, I love whiskey and could geek out on it, but throw it in the comments. If you have a question or a comment about it, let me know. I'd love to chat with you about it, but I'm not going to take too much time talking about it in this video. Yeah. Here I am. All right. It's August 23rd. I'm already going to miss summer. It's not even gone yet. I love summer. Let me move this light a little bit, see if I can make it a little bit better. Is that better? Is that worse? I don't know. That's kind of creepy. Oh, wait, that's just me. That's the creepy part. I don't know if I want to hang it on there. The light would sort of be behind me. Well, anyway, I'm going to put it right here. And that'll be that. Actually, I'm taking my glasses off because I need new glasses. These glasses are absolutely terrible. So I'd rather just take them off. I don't mind the heat. Like I said, I'm outside working it. I work outside year-round. So when it's bitterly cold or scorching hot, I'm working in both, and I much prefer the heat. But that's just me. That's my preference. Yeah, I miss sitting outside listening to the crickets and the tree frogs. Gonna miss summer. So I'm gonna enjoy it until it's gone. Some noises. Almost like sound like somebody chopped down a tree or something. I just heard an owl. I don't know if you could hear that. A lot of times when I'm wearing the mic, you can't hear all the great sounds I'm hearing. I don't even know if the crickets and tree frogs and things are coming through. I doubt the owl hooting. I doubt that came through. There it was again. Like I said, I'm sure not many of you out there are pipe smokers. There aren't a lot of us that you see out in the wild these days. And that did have a bit of a resurgence. And I think it peaked about 10 years ago And I think it's tapered off a little bit since then, but still held fairly steady. But it's not like it used to be back in the day, where you see guys smoking a pipe regularly. When I started smoking a pipe, like I said, was like 14 years ago, 15 years ago. It was one of those things, you know. Oh, sorry, knocked you guys over. Uh, but back at that point when I started, I always thought of it as something that old men did, you know, old men and their pipes. And at that point, I was in my 30s. Um, and now I'm 53 and I'm one of those old men smoking a pipe. Yeah. Any of you who have relatives like a grandpa or an uncle or something who smoked a pipe, you can probably relate to the nostalgia, the memories of being around them when they smoked their pipe and the smell of the tobacco. Um, my grandpa on my dad's side smoked a pipe occasionally, but unfortunately, I really didn't get to know him. I was like 3 months old when he passed away. But I had an uncle. He was a good family friend, called him Uncle John, and he smoked a pipe. And I was youngish when he died, but I have memories of him and memories of him smoking a pipe and just that smell. That's something that I think when you smell it, especially as a kid, it sticks with you. Because I'll be out, you know, out and about, and I'll have my pipe lit. And I think one time in all these years I've been smoking a pipe, I had somebody get nasty about it. But most people come up and say, "Man, I love that. It reminds me of my grandpa or my uncle or whatever, you know." So it does tend to trigger those good memories of someone they know who smoked a pipe, and generally is very pleasant. Um, so yeah, uh, I love the connection with the past. I think I like to go to yard sales and flea markets and antique shops, and you can buy what they call state pipes, which are used pipes that, you know, somebody's grandpa or somebody had, and when they pass, they've got these pipes they don't know what to do with, so they sell them at a yard sale or sell them at an antique shop or something. And you can find these used estate pipes. And I know when I first heard about estate pipes, I thought that's kind of gross. I'm not going to smoke a pipe somebody else had in their face. Um, but you know, you can clean and sterilize a pipe. But I love to get, for me, this is sort of the pinnacle of pipe smoking for me. Get an estate pipe. I get my favorite tobacco and I put it in the pipe, and I smoke that pipe knowing that this was somebody else's pipe. Some guy who probably just smoked it, just doing his daily stuff, tinkering in his garage, whatever he did at the time. And some of these pipes are quite old. So you got pipes from the 40s or whatever, and um, you know, they're sitting around the radio listening to updates on World War II. You know, they're living their life, and the pipe is just part of it. So you get this estate pipe and you fill it with your favorite tobacco, and you're sitting here today, and for me, 2024, smoking this pipe that's 80 years old, smoked by somebody back in the day, and just imagining the person who smoked the pipe, thinking about who that person is and what it was like, what was their daily life like for them compared to now, you know. And you just think back to, you know, back in the day, back in the 40s, and how different life was, how different things were then. And you just, you smoke that pipe, and it's sort of a connection with the past. And I'm a drummer. Um, I love jazz. I love big band jazz, especially swing jazz, big band jazz. And so I'll put on like a Benny Goodman record and have an estate pipe from the 40s and maybe some whiskey. And it just transports you back, and you imagine, you know, it's that connection with the past. And you just think about what it was like for that person when they had that pipe brand new smoking it. So anyway, I love pipe smoking just for those kinds of reasons. It to me is a very relaxing hobby. So there you go. There's a lot of information you didn't ask for. Okay, I'm in the hammock. I mean, I've been in the hammock, but I'm lying down in the hammock. I have a couple more sips of whiskey. I'm kind of finished with my pipe for tonight. May finish it up in the morning if I want, but I had what I wanted tonight. Um, yeah, I'm gonna relax here. It's a little after 9, so I'm gonna relax here and listen to the sounds of nature. All right, Lord willing, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. It's right about 8 o'clock. Only got down to about 58 last night, so didn't get so cold, but it just feels so good out this morning. I might just lay here for a couple minutes and relax, and get up, make some coffee and some breakfast. All right, so the water's on for the coffee. What is the coffee? Is that you wanted to know? It's Battleborn Coffee Roasters. It's a natural Ethiopian Guji. And of course, I'll be using the old trusty AeroPress as per usual when I'm camping. Such a great brewing method. It's plastic, so it won't break. You can throw it in your bag, take it with you wherever you go, and always a dependable, solid cup of coffee. So I did grind it up already, so that's ready to go. And once the water's ready and I have the coffee done, I'm going to make my breakfast. We'll see what that is in a minute. So now that it's all brewed up, time to drink up. So good. All right, for breakfast, I went ahead and cut up some more hot smoked sausage, and I'm just gonna fry those up with some eggs. I usually put my everything bagel seasoning on this breakfast, but I forgot to bring it. But I think it'll be just fine. I decided to move the table out from under the hammock. Not under the hammock, under the tarp. And just sit here by the would-be creek. Unfortunately, there's zero water in it, but nice to be in the sun. Still good. That seasoning really does make a difference, but still very good. I've heard some people on the trail, but didn't really see anybody go by. Usually people take their dogs out for a walk on the trail earlier in the morning, but yeah, kind of peaceful. This coffee is so good. Are any of you into, freshly roasted specialty coffee? For me, it's a daily thing. I do a manual pour over every morning at home for my coffee. And when I'm camping, I use the AeroPress. So, what do you guys use, especially when you're camping? What do you use? I know there are a lot of things, a lot of ways to brew coffee on the trail, a lot of portable brewers. What do you guys use? It's already warming up to it's 70 degrees right now. It got down to 58. I woke up a lot last night, actually. I didn't sleep really well, but that's kind of typical for me. A lot of times in the hammock, I find myself waking up less. But last night I woke up quite a bit. And there wasn't anything in particular that woke me up. I woke up like I usually do. And I think probably around 2 or so in the morning, I was kind of chilly. And I realized it was just because my feet weren't under the top quilt. So once I made sure my feet were covered, I was good. But I did see when I woke up around 6:30 or so, it was 58 degrees. So I'm sure that's as low as it got. And then it just started warming up, and we're at 70 already. So this weekend's going to be back in the 90s, and the humidity's going to be ticking back up. So getting out in the morning like this is what it's all about. If you want to enjoy the really great weather where you don't have to sweat just sitting around. Okie dokie. All torn down. Leave no trace. Actually, I did. I'll show you. I did right along this area, kind of push down all the weeds that were growing up so I could put my hammock between these trees. But since it's actually a campsite and I'm not just out in the middle of the woods someplace, I felt it was just fine to go ahead and make this area clear for hammocks because these are perfect trees for that. So yeah, that I did do. But yeah, other than that, we're leaving no trace. All right. Well, this has been great. I really appreciate those of you who watch my videos and even sticking around to the end. It means a lot to me. Of course, you know I'd love to ask you some favors. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, that would really mean a lot to me. And the like button is super helpful. Get the algorithm to maybe push my videos out to more folks. Oh, and hanging in that tree right there is the notification bell. So once you've subscribed, if you hit the notification bell, they'll be sure to tell you every time I put out new videos. So you won't miss my content. I mean, that is the purpose of subscribing after all, right? I do thank you. It means a lot to me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am glad to be back. It felt good to go out camping again and look forward to doing it again here next week. So until then, take care of yourselves and get out there and do something. God bless.